Hello, my friends. How are you? I'm gonna give everyone just a second. I almost did not get on today. I've been having like the worst migraine headache. I guess it's like sinus headache. My sister-in-law is a pharmacist and she says it's sinuses. So I don't know if you can see it. I've got like sinus, like just bags under my eyes, and I've had the worst headache in my eyes today. So just giving everyone just a second. Yeah, so ignore the bags under my eyes. My head is like killing me right now. I don't know if it's like the season change, but it's bothering me. I'm having sinus headaches like every day. Okay. So for everyone else, you can catch up on the replay. We're going to get started. All right, welcome to Life in the Driver's Seat Live. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic and having a great week. Today we are going to be talking about something I feel is so prevalent in so many of our lives, and that is procrastination. Can I get an amen? There's so many people out there, right, who are procrastinating in the way of just pushing things off that need to be done, okay? And for those of you who are new to the group, my name is Jacqueline Emery. I'm a certified life coach and founder of a coaching program and a podcast called Life in the Driver's Seat. And my work is all about helping my clients get into the driver's seat of their life so that they can live intentionally, create the life they want intentionally, so they can show up, feel better, and create the results that they're wanting to create in their life. So let's get into today's topic. Like I said, we're going to be talking about procrastination. So, hi Tony, how are you? Hope you're doing well. So procrastination, like I said, it's putting off something that needs to be done, like we're pushing it off to a later date, okay? And we do this. If you do this, there's nothing wrong with you. Like a lot of people think that they're lazy or, they don't have enough self-control or time management. And it actually doesn't have anything to do with that. And I want you to stop blaming yourself and have compassion for yourself, because it's literally how our brain is wired. Your brain is wired to want to procrastinate. Your brain is wired to want to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So it wants to push off the things that it perceives as not pleasant. Okay, so there is nothing wrong with you. We just need to know why we're doing it, how the brain works, and how we can get it to work for us. And that's what I always tell my clients. It's like your brain isn't wired for growth, but I want to teach you how to get your brain working for you instead of just letting it work against you, okay? And I'm not beating up on the brain. It's a beautiful thing if we know how to use it. But most of us are working with an outdated brain, okay? And we're just listening to our primal brain. And that is the brain that's telling us to avoid things and push them off and, go watch Netflix, okay? So we just do this. It has nothing to do with you being lazy. It's just because your brain wants instant gratification. It doesn't want to do the painful thing. It wants to put that off and go experience pleasure and then push that pain, what it perceives as pain, off till later. Okay? So the problem with this is when you procrastinate, it feels good in the moment, but you're trading in true satisfaction and true happiness for instant gratification. Okay, it's like you're trading in short-term happiness for long-term, I don't want to say destruction, but if we put off that instant gratification, what waits for us is the life that we really want, right? True happiness, true fulfillment, but we want it in the moment. And you guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to close this window really quick. I don't know if you can hear that, but the traffic's really loud. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. My windows are there's a road out there and there's traffic right now. Okay, so like I said, you're trading in you want short-term happiness, but really the problem is those things are still waiting for you. Okay, it feels good to put those things off, but those things are still waiting for you. They still need to be done. And now on top of that, we've piled on. It's probably worse because we put it off and now we have these emotions on top of it. Like it makes it even harder to do. Now we don't believe in ourselves that we can get it done. It makes us think thoughts about ourselves. Okay. It's like, it's not worth that instant gratification, okay, that we get because it's not creating the life that we really want. The second problem with procrastination is that it creates a cycle. So I was just reading about this too. it's like the brain creates habits and cycles through getting a reward. Okay. So we do things and then we get a dopamine, like we get pleasure response. Okay. And our brain is like, oh, what was that? I'm going to memorize that because I want to do it again and again. And what happens is when we procrastinate, did you know just the act of putting something off gives us dopamine, gives us pleasure? Isn't that interesting? So it's not just the thing, like say you have to clean the house, but instead you sit down and you watch Netflix. The Netflix is going to give you dopamine, but did you know just the act of not cleaning the house, just the act of pushing that off to tomorrow, just the act of pushing something off that your brain perceives as negative gives you dopamine, gives you a pleasure response. So your brain's like, oh, I love doing that. I get pleasure when I push things off. So what happens is you get a cycle. It's like a habitual cycle of becoming a procrastinator. So every time you procrastinate and it feels good in the moment, your brain memorizes that and it gets you into a cycle of, hey, when I perceive something as, being hard or something that I don't want to do, I push it off and then I feel really good. I get dopamine, I get pleasure, and I'm going to do that again and I'm going to do it again. And the more we do it, the more we get stuck in a cycle and we're like, we're just people without self-control. We're just people who don't get things done. Like, I'm lazy. I have no self-control. And it's like, no, you're just letting your natural primal brain take over. And it's like, I got you. I'm going to keep you feeling good. I'm going to keep getting that pleasure. Okay. So there is nothing wrong with you. It's just how your brain works. So now in this episode, I'm just going to we're going to go over 5 reasons or 5 ideas of why you might be procrastinating. And then I'm going to go into 5 tips to help you stop procrastinating. Okay. So the first reason you might be procrastinating, and I say might, but this one's a for sure one. Okay. A couple of these you might not have, but this one's for sure. Your thoughts, like your current thoughts that you are thinking around yourself and the subject, the thing that you're procrastinating. So think of something that maybe it's an everyday thing or maybe it's something big, okay? Maybe you need to like declutter your home or whatever it is and you keep pushing it off or start a business or whatever it is. Think of that subject. The reason you're procrastinating is hands down the thoughts that you're thinking about yourself and that task or that thing that you want to do. That is why you are procrastinating. And here's why. Because your actions are always preceded by a feeling, okay? And where do your feelings come from? They always come from your thoughts. So you are thinking a thought that is creating a feeling that is driving an action or an inaction. So 100% the reason that you are procrastinating on that thing that you're not doing, that you know that you should be doing, that would really be good for you and has to get done, the reason you're procrastinating it is 100% the thoughts that you're thinking. Or a thought could come down to a thought, okay? So we need to become aware, and I'm going to talk about that in the tips to help you stop procrastinating. But just know, always the reason that you procrastinate on anything is your thoughts. It is the thoughts that you are thinking about yourself and about that task, okay? Because your thoughts are creating your feelings, and your feelings are what are driving your actions or your inaction. So you're feeling something that is creating inaction. The action is you're not doing that thing. Okay. The second reason you may be procrastinating is you want to avoid pain, kind of like we touched on before. You might be someone who is not capable of, like plenty of people, they just aren't, we're not taught how to feel pain. Like we want to avoid it at any cost. Okay. So you might be someone who is avoiding pain. Okay. Like you don't know how to lean in. You don't know how to feel hard emotion. So you just avoid it. All right. So you're procrastinating because you're thinking this thing is, or your brain is perceiving it as painful, and you're not someone who is strong at that, is someone who's able to feel pain. So you're just pushing things off. Okay. Again, you're choosing instant gratification, like, going out with your friends and drinking when you're like, I should be at home, making a business plan, or I should be getting that extra work done or cleaning my house or doing that or whatever it is. You're like, no, I'd rather just go drink. Or I'd rather watch Netflix or go out with my friends, right? Because you don't want to feel pain. Okay. The third reason you might be, or why you might be procrastinating is a lot of people think they need to wait until they're like, you know what? I'm going to wait until I feel like it, or like I'm inspired to do it. So we think that, there's going to come a time when we're going to feel like it. Okay. We don't want to do things that we don't feel like doing. So that day is going to come. Like, a lot of people function that way. They're like, I'll do that when I feel like it, when I'm inspired to do it. That's when I'm going to do it. A lot of people live their life that way in every area. Okay. Like, they wait for the, inspiration, or for feeling like doing it in order to take the action. Okay. So you might be someone who's like, well, that day will come when I feel like doing it, or when I'm inspired. I'll wait for that time. The fourth reason you might procrastinate is, a lot of people, it's like, well, we're not feeling well emotionally or even physically, but a lot of times emotionally plays into physically, but we just don't feel good, right? So we're like, we're tired. It feels hopeless. We feel incapable of doing things, right? We think it will be just too hard. It'll be impossible. Like, we don't believe we're capable of it, right? When we don't feel well, it becomes very hard for us. Again, your feelings drive your actions. When we don't feel well, we're just like, we can't do it, right? We're not capable of doing it, okay? And then the fifth reason people procrastinate, or you might be procrastinating, is perfectionism. And I know this is a big one for me. I'm like kind of an all or nothing. I'm like, I will put something off until I feel like I can really do it right. Like, I can make it perfect, right? But then it's like, but it's just like accumulate. It's like getting worse and worse, right? But I'm like, no, when I do it, I'm going to do it big. And it's like, my coach would always tell me, like, always be willing to do B-. Like, just get it done. Just do B- work consistently. Don't wait to do this perfect job on it. Just do it. So perfectionism is for sure a reason I know a lot of people procrastinate, and it might not be you, but I know it's me for sure. I think I'm going to just put it off until I can really go at it. And then we just let things accumulate. And again, it's like those things still need to be done. They're accumulating. It is putting this pressure on us, and it's making us believe things about ourselves, whether we are aware of it or not. So it's always better to just do it, to just do things consistently, just get them done. You can always go back and refine, but just do it. Okay. And now I'm going to go into 5 tips to help you stop procrastinating. So tip number 1 is, like we talked about in the first reason of why you might be procrastinating. Tip 1 is to bring awareness to your thoughts. Okay. So I have my clients do something called a brain dump, and it's where they can take any subject, any topic, and they just write it at the top of the paper, and then they set a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but 5 minutes if you're just starting out is plenty, and you just fill the paper with so I'm trying to think of something you're procrastinating. I don't know, like, say it's decluttering. So you want to declutter your closet. So put declutter in your closet and write all the thoughts you have about it. Okay. I can get to it later. It's not that important, right? Or it sounds terrible. It's going to take me too long. Whatever your thoughts are on it. Okay. Write all of your thoughts, because those are the things that are keeping you from decluttering your closet. But most people are completely unaware of their thoughts. They're just living life. But the key to figuring out anything in your life that you're not doing or that you want to do is figuring out what you are thinking. I promise. It seems so simple, and it works every single time. So tip number 1 is becoming aware of your thoughts. That is one of the very first things I work on with my clients. Whatever, people come to me for everything. I have clients right now coming to me. I have someone coming to me for hoarding. I have someone coming to me for going through a divorce. I have someone coming to me with relationship stuff. I have someone starting their own business. I have people come to me for everything. And the work that we do is let's bring awareness to what you are thinking about any of these things, any of these categories. Anything you want to do or you don't want to do, it comes from what you're thinking. So the first thing is becoming aware. And you can try that exercise. Just try doing a brain dump and just see what comes out, because those are the thoughts, right, that are keeping you procrastinating. And then in the in a couple tips here. We're going to talk about using actually your thoughts, but bringing awareness is just the first tip in stopping procrastinating. Second tip, learning to lean into hard emotion. Okay. And this is another skill that I teach my clients, is becoming a person who can lean into hard emotion. If you can learn to welcome pain instead of the brain's natural response to trying to avoid it, if you can be someone who's bring it on and actually looks for that experience, looks for pain, because pain, instead of signaling hide, we can also train ourselves to see pain as growth, to see pain as it's like a flag. It's like an alarm that goes off that says, we're doing something to grow. We're going outside of our comfort zone. Okay. And that, again, you can train yourself. It's not how you're wired. You're wired to avoid pain and hide from it, but you can become a person who welcomes pain in a healthy way, welcomes pain, bring it on, because that means I'm growing. That means I'm evolving. That means I'm doing the thing that, that's going to make me stronger. It's like a weight. It's the more you do those things, the stronger you get. Okay. So learning to lean into hard emotion and pushing through pain. I'm reading a book, I finished a book. I'm on his second book. But it's called The Tools. I don't know if there was a Netflix special on it too. I think Jonah Hill was on it. So the book's called The Tools. It's amazing. And in it, one of the tools he teaches his clients is a tool to feel pain. Okay. Because again, not in a bad way, but feeling pain is what allows you to push through procrastination, right? Because your brain's trying to protect you from it. So in it, he has a tool, and you have to get the book. It's awesome. I just finished it. And the tool is, he says, you imagine pain, when you don't want to do something. So we'll use the example of I don't know. I hate paying the bills. I'm always I procrastinate. I push it off. I'm I'm supposed to do it on Mondays and I end up doing it on Fridays. Right? I push it off because I hate it. Okay. So say I picture, when I don't want to do something, you picture a cloud. You picture pain as a cloud and you say, bring it on. And then you step into the cloud of pain and you say to yourself, I love pain. And then you picture yourself going through the cloud. It spits you out and you say, pain sets me free. And then you do the thing that you don't want to do. Okay. So there's a 3-step thing there. It's bring it on. You step into that cloud of pain. You say, I love pain. And then it pushes you out and you say, pain sets me free. And then you do the thing. Okay. Mel Robbins has kind of something like the 5-second rule where she's count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and do the thing. But these are all things that are using, our brain's natural tendency to procrastinate and push things off to pushing yourself through the pain. Being the person, if you are the person who pushes yourself through pain, you can accomplish anything, right? Because pain is what keeps people, the fear of pain and the unknown and all of these things keeps people stuck in their current life. That is what keeps people stuck creating the same life over and over again, because they don't want to feel the stress and the pain and the uncertainty and the fear and all of those things. If you can become the person that leans into that, you can accomplish whatever you want. You can make the money you want. You can get the relationship that you want. You can, make the life moves that you can do anything if you just step into fear and embrace it. Okay. So that is one of the huge things we work on in my Life in the Driver's Seat program, is becoming the person who doesn't fear, who doesn't fear pain, right? That uses it and sees it as a tool and a sign of growth and goes for it. Okay. Next, tip number 3. If you want to stop procrastinating, you don't want to wait to feel like it or to be inspired like most people do. They're I'll wait till I feel like it. Right? I don't want to do things I don't feel like, right? You want to stop procrastinating? Tip number 3 is you create your own passion. You create your own emotions that you need to have to get that done. So you need to figure out, okay, what emotion do I need to get that thing done that I don't want to get done? That's up to you. What is the emotion needed, right? I wanted to start getting up earlier. I had to figure out, okay, what emotion do I need to start getting up earlier? Okay, I want to feel excitement, right? That would help me get up earlier. Right? If I feel excited for my day, so then I had to think, how do I create excitement? Instead of just being well, I'm not excited when the alarm goes off. I don't feel like it. You are in charge of creating the feeling needed to do the thing that you want to get done, that you want to do. You don't wait for that feeling to come. You create it. You're in charge of creating it. And more importantly, you can create it. Okay, so figure out what emotion you need and then create that inspiration, create that desire to get it done. And how do we do that? Like, how do we say it's like motivation or whatever it is that you need? You create that, you can create that within yourself. Again, like, what do I need to be thinking to create that? Because again, like we talked about earlier, your thoughts are always creating your feelings, and those feelings are what are driving your inaction or your action. And those are a choice. You're in charge of those. So what do I need to think to create the feeling of motivation and desire, right? And again, becoming aware of what I'm currently thinking, because what I'm currently thinking is creating procrastination and inaction. So I need to create, I'm not going to wait for inspiration and want to do things. I'm going to create it. Okay. So I want you to think of that. What thoughts how can I show up as if, what thoughts will create, the thoughts and beliefs will create that in me to make me go out and get shit done. Okay. Tip number 4. This is just like kind of a fun one, but planning something fun after. So say there's something that you don't like to do. And I just use the example of like, I don't like paying the bills. Like I hate doing the business paperwork for both businesses. So it's like, planning something fun will help you get through that. So have compassion for love yourself, be kind to yourself. Be like, okay, it's like how we, tell a kid, do something and we'll give you a treat, or our pet, do something, do that with yourself. Be like, okay, you clean the closet out today, clean the kitchen, whatever, do the business paperwork, those things that you just put off and you find are accumulating, like plan something, be like, okay, if I do this today, first thing, I'm going to like plan this fun thing or give myself a treat or plan something fun. And then it's like, right, I've talked about energy drainers or battery drainers and battery chargers. It's like the thing that drains you, like then charge your battery. Have something after that. That helps me. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do the business paperwork, but then I'm going to go meet a friend for coffee, right? And have connection. So that will help me get through the thing that I don't want to do. Okay. And then, sorry, I have to hurry because I have a client right after this, a coaching client. And then tip number 5. Focus on how good it feels after you do the things you don't want to do. Like I said, I have a client coming to me right now for hoarding and just time stuff too. And last week on our call, she was like, I got through all this stuff this week since we started coaching. It was like our first call. And she was like, I didn't realize how good I would feel, not just after doing it. She was like, but for the whole week. Like that played into all of my days. Like I felt so much better. And I said to her, I want you to really slow down and like think about what you're saying. Okay. Like show your brain, hey, like this is what we had to give up, right? Like we gave up, instant gratification and instant happiness and we did the hard thing. But I want you to show your brain and really focus and show it how good it felt. Like what the reward is that you got and your brain got. Like let that really sink in and really think about like the aftermath and how good it feels and how it's playing out into like your week and like the big ways it's paying off, because that's going to drive you, right? Like let that be your reward, and then that's going to drive the actions that you take and the life that you create, right? Be the person that really recognizes, like so many times we do things and we don't even really let it sink in or celebrate what it did for us or how it felt. You really want to let that sink in and focus on the good. Okay. So that next time you're tempted to like go eat bonbons instead of going to work out, you'll be like, no, because it felt so much better when I did the exercise. I felt so good after and so energized and it felt so much better. Okay. That's up to you to concentrate and like show your brain that. Otherwise, your brain's going to show you why you should always just choose bonbons immediately. Get sugar and avoid the pain of exercise, okay? So it's up to you to do that. Get into the driver's seat of your life and you be in charge of that. Okay, that is the 5 tips for today for procrastinating. If you are stuck in the cycle of procrastination, I can totally help you. It is a cycle. It's hard to get out of. It's like a deep groove that you get stuck into. Again, it's that like habitual cycle that your brain creates, but it's nothing that you cannot get out of. And I promise a coach will make it 1,000% easier. I do this with my clients every day. It's amazing work. And everything I just talked about is what we discuss and what we cover within my Life in the Driver's Seat program. All of it, how your thoughts create your feelings and becoming aware of them and creating your own emotions and your own motivation, all of that. We do all of that within my program. So I would love to work with you if you want to hear about that and just book a free call and get a taste of what coaching can do for you. I would love to connect with you. So to get your free coaching session, it's 1 hour. Go to JacquelineEmry.com/consult. Bring it all to me. Tell me all about your procrastinating and we can brainstorm things to help you. Okay. I love you guys and I hope you have a great rest of the week. I have a client to get to. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.